Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, so right now, as we speak, the entire tech industry is locked in this breathless, all-out sprint, literally spending billions of dollars every single month just to build smarter AI. Everyone's racing toward the finish line. But today, we're going to stop, look down, and actually examine the ground we're all running on. We're exploring the architectures of trustworthy intelligence. Because when you look at the headlines, the conversation is completely dominated by these flashy surface-level metrics. Bigger, faster, smarter, right? It's all about who has the most massive models with, trillions of parameters. It's about hoarding more compute power, stacking up endless rows of servers. And it's about faster inference, getting that machine to spit out an answer in a fraction of a millisecond. And hey, those are absolutely incredible engineering feats for sure. But they're really just the surface. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the iceberg, and looking beneath the surface. To actually understand how these systems work, and honestly where they fail, we kind of have to treat AI like a giant iceberg. There is this foundational law of artificial intelligence that we just cannot ignore. A model can only reason with what it inherits. It's true. An AI system doesn't just, pull wisdom out of thin air. It relies entirely on the knowledge, the facts, and the logic that we've passed down to it. You could build the absolute fastest engine in the world, but if that data inheritance is flawed, the entire system's ability to reason is fundamentally compromised. And this brilliantly illustrates that exact cause and effect relationship. Unreliable underlying data gives you unreliable outputs, period. It's a one-to-one translation. The foundation directly dictates the final result. You simply cannot build a reliable, trustworthy AI on top of a cracked, unreliable bedrock. It just doesn't work. So what's really interesting about this next part is how we got here. Section 2, the root cause, which comes down to broken incentives. Because this data unreliability doesn't just happen by accident. It stems entirely from the way we currently gather human knowledge. Let's break down exactly what those broken incentives look like, what I call the toxic trio of AI data. First up, anonymous contributors. The invisible armies of people doing all this verification are just hidden away. Second, disposable knowledge. It's treated as a cheap, one-and-done gig task instead of a lasting asset. And third, no shared value. The human beings actually fueling these massive models are completely disconnected from the unbelievable wealth they're generating. And when people are anonymous, their work is disposable and they aren't rewarded, well, you don't need a supercomputer to predict what happens next. Quality becomes incredibly difficult to sustain. It's just human nature. You can't expect meticulously curated, trustworthy knowledge to just continuously flow into these systems if the ecosystem is actively punishing the people providing it. The data inevitably degrades. But we don't have to accept that broken system. Section 3, the opposite direction, with Codatta. Codatta doesn't just slap a Band-Aid on the problem. They approach it from the complete opposite direction to solve this data quality crisis at its root. Let's move to this framework and see how it builds step by step. Step 1, make contributors visible. Bring them out of the shadows. Step 2, make reputation persistent. If you provide great knowledge, your track record actually stays with you. Step 3, make trust measurable using math. And finally, step 4, make valuable knowledge economically meaningful. Actually reward the human beings who are building the intelligence. The contrast here is literally night and day. Look at the old paradigm versus the new paradigm. We're moving from this crumbling, unsustainable ecosystem of anonymous, disposable data to a reinforced, engineered foundation that is visible, persistent, and economically meaningful. By making these changes, we completely transform human behavior. We finally align the incentives of the contributors with the ultimate goal, which is creating trustworthy AI. What Codatta is building here is a stronger foundation underneath the iceberg. And why does this matter to us? Because when you have a stronger foundation of knowledge, every single AI app you use on your phone, every automated tool in your daily workflow, it instantly becomes more reliable and capable. By fixing the incentives, you solidify everything built on top of them. So as we look ahead, we have to completely rethink our metrics for success. These are the true determinants of AI's future. Forget the surface-level race for bigger and faster compute. The true test won't be solely determined by how massive the models become. It's going to be determined by the integrity of the bedrock they stand on. Which leaves us with this ultimate question. As we hand over more and more of our medical, financial, and daily infrastructure to these systems, is the knowledge underneath trustworthy enough to support the real world? We absolutely have to build an architecture of trustworthy intelligence from the bottom up. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really encourage you to keep questioning the foundations of the technology we're using every single day.